Is offshore freedom dying? That's what everyone is asking right now. The G20 just renewed its commitment to a global minimum tax. Governments are coordinating like never before. And if you're an entrepreneur or investor, this directly affects how you operate and protect your wealth. I'm Thyll, and today I'm going to show you exactly what's changing, why traditional offshore strategies are ending, and what actually still works, if you structure it correctly. So let's break it down. All right, let me explain what's actually happening. The G20 and OECD are pushing a global minimum tax. This means 15% minimum corporate tax rate, regardless of where your company is registered. The reason? Governments are losing revenue. Companies started to operate digitally across borders. Money flows internationally. And traditional tax system just cannot keep up anymore. So they're coordinating. And it's not just about the big corporations anymore. This includes digital income, remote companies, online services, crypto assets. Everything is falling under these new rules. Look, I've worked in banking for 7 years. I knew that this was eventually going to happen. The financial surveillance infrastructure has been built for over a decade. And now it's accelerating fast. Here's exactly what's changing. Increased data sharing. Countries are automatically exchanging financial information. Your bank accounts, company ownership, transactions, authorities literally can see it all. Beneficial ownership transparency. Government want to know who really owns your companies and trusts. No more hiding behind nominees or layer of entities. Then there is top of taxation. Even if your company is registered in a 0% tax jurisdiction, your home country can now tax you up to 15% minimum anyway. Isn't it crazy? Digital economy tracking, online income, digital services, crypto, all increasingly monitored by global tax authorities. OECD framework strengthening means the systems tracking global financial flows are getting faster and more precise than ever. Look, I understand the appeal of offshore structures, but the game has fundamentally changed. The days of simple shell companies is over. Anonymous ownership is ending. Low tax jurisdictions without real operations are no longer free pass. Here's what people get wrong. Offshore isn't dead. It's actually simply evolving. Let me be direct about what's ending and what still works. So, here's what's ending. Shell companies with zero substance. Paper-only offshore entities, mailbox companies, anonymous beneficial ownership, simple low-tax jurisdiction strategies without actual real operations. These are that. But here's what actually still works. Offshore structures with real substance. Companies with actual employees, offices, management, legitimate business operations across borders, strategic use of tax-neutral jurisdictions, and properly structured foundations and trusts. The critical word here is substance. Authorities are cracking down on structures that exist only on paper. But if your offshore company has real employees, real offices, real management, and serves a legitimate business purpose, it's still valid, still legal, and still strategic. Can you see it? That's the difference between smart structuring and outdated tactics. This isn't just about Fortune 500 companies, because if you're a high net worth individual with global assets, a crypto investor, a digital entrepreneur earning across borders, a global founder with international operations, or maybe just simply someone living as a digital nomad, you're directly affected. And here's what this looks like practically. Earning in multiple countries, tax authorities will know. They're sharing data automatically. Holding crypto, increasingly tracked and reported. Where you choose to live. This now determines your entire tax situation more than ever before. The era of simple offshore solution is ending. But if you plan strategically, you can still protect your wealth, maintain privacy within legal limits, and preserve mobility. So, you're not trapped, but only if you act now. Here's what we at Uncover help people do in this new environment. Strategy 1. Build real substance. offshore strategies still work, but only with genuine substance. That means real employees on payroll, physical office space, active day-to-day management, a legitimate business operation. We help people structure companies that pass the substance test while maintaining tax efficiency. This isn't about tricking the system. It's about building legitimate international operations. Second strategy, multi-jurisdiction banking. I don't keep all my assets in one country, ever. Why? Because geographic diversification protects you from single country regulatory changes, banking system failures, currency risks, political instability. This means strategically holding accounts across multiple stable jurisdictions. Third strategy, foundations and family office structures. This is where serious long-term wealth protection lives. These are the jurisdictions we work with: UAE, DIFC, ADGM, tax neutrality, substance-friendly frameworks. There is Cayman Islands, asset protection and investment structures. Now, we do also have Cook Islands, where strong asset protection laws are. There is also Bahamas as an option: succession planning, family wealth preservation. Each serves different purposes: tax efficiency, asset protection, multi-generational succession planning, and privacy within compliance frameworks. However, these must be structured properly with real substance and legitimate purpose. Fourth strategy, strategic jurisdiction. Now, not all jurisdictions are affected equally. Places like UAE, Cayman Islands, and others still provide options, but you need to understand what each one has to offer. Tax neutrality, strong legal frameworks, asset protection mechanism, or business-friendly regulations. The key is matching the right jurisdictions to your specific situation. Fifth strategy, think ahead. This is the most critical strategy, honestly. The compliance environment is tightening every quarter. What works today might not work in 12 to 18 months. I've seen wealthy families lose options simply because they waited too long to restructure. Because early planning equals maximum flexibility and freedom. So, looking ahead, here's what I see coming. More harmonization. Countries will continue aligning their tax rules. The 15% minimum is just the start. Expanded digital tracking. Governments are building systems to track digital income and financial flows in real time. Automatic data sharing. And look, this will only expand. Financial privacy is continuously shrinking. Digital IDs and programmable money. The infrastructure is being built now. Once it exists, governments will use it. And look, from my 7 years in banking, I can tell you, these systems don't get less invasive over time. They constantly expand. But here's the thing. If you plan strategically now, you can position yourself in jurisdiction and structures that still offer efficiency, protection, and autonomy. The window, however, is narrowing, but it's not closed yet. Early planning allows you to stay ahead, maintain control, and remain fully compliant while protecting your freedom. If you're watching this thinking, I need to restructure before it's too late, you're right. We at Ankova help entrepreneurs, investors, and families build compliant global structures that work in this new era. Substance-based offshore strategies, multi-jurisdiction diversification, foundation and trust structures, strategic international planning. Because, again, offshore isn't dead. It's simply evolving. And if you act now, you can secure your freedom. So, don't forget to subscribe and link below to book your consultation.